Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Week 2, Kentucky Straight Sour Mash Bourbon Whiskies. Low priced. Okay, we have Henry McKenna. Company established in 1855. Henry McKenna, Kentucky Straight Sour Mash Bourbon Whiskey. No age statement from Heaven Hill. No website listing either. It's not even, if you get on the Heaven Hill website, you'll never see this list. You'll see the Henry McKenna small batch, 10-year aged. What is that, 100 proof? But this is the regular 80 proof that they don't even discuss. They only have it listed in the product specifications, which is something that probably no one looks at except maybe wholesalers when they're trying to make their order or something like that. Here's the competitor, which does have a website listing and a photo and everything. The information is a little funny, but this is ancient age, genuine sour mash Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 10-star, ancient age, 10-star, AAA, 10-star. If you look at the website link that I put from greatbourbons.com, it talks about, and this is your Sazerac Jack Daniels Mimic bottle. You've seen these. There's a big essay on the side about it. All about the settlement, the history of the distillery, a history of this. Oh, how awesome it is. Frankfort, Kentucky. It says Ancient Age Distilling Company. Well, it's an alias name for what it says down here. We love to hear from our customers. Bourbonwhiskey.com, which takes you to a link, which is greatbourbons.com, which is Buffalo Trace and Barton 1792 distillery together. Those two main distilleries in Kentucky, and one's down the road, one's up the road, but ultimately owned by Sazerac, the Sazerac company. This is 90 proof, but it says aged 3 years on the bottleneck. It says aged at least 36 months. Now the website says it's a 6-year age. Is there a 6-year age? Apparently, but I've never seen it. So what do we have with ancient age? There's the black label. Oh, now they claim that it was introduced in 1946, but I wrote an email to Sazerac and I talked to them. They never changed it. I said, I got proof that it was 1936, not 46. It's a mistake. And they just didn't listen and never changed it. Well, it doesn't matter, but it was 1936, not 46. As they incorrectly state, because they bought the brand from some other company. Just like Bud Anheuser-Busch. When I contacted them about 10 years ago, I told them, I said, you're wrong. You're saying that Bud Ice was introduced in 1984. I said, no, it was 94, not 84. And then I provided documents to prove that, and they were like, oh, it was a mistake. We'll fix it. And in a few days, their website was changed, updated. So companies will listen. That's a big company, Anheuser-Busch, but they listened to what I told them. Sazerac doesn't want to hear me, but anyway, regardless, there's the black label ancient age, which is the blended 80-20 blended, 20% straight, age 4 years. You got the khaki label, the cream colored label, the standard ancient age, 3-year age, 80 proof sour mash. They sell that at Total Wine here. Walmart sells it. Winn-Dixie sells it. Mathern's might sell it. It's usually $9.99 a bottle. You go to Winn-Dixie, it might cost a lot more, but their prices are outrageous. But you can get it for $9.99, ancient age. You got the 10-star, ancient age, which is age 3 years here and maybe 6 years in other areas. Okay. So that's 4 different ones. Is there a 5th or 6th? I don't know. I don't know. Are there more than 2 versions of Henry McKenna? Not to my knowledge, but I wouldn't be shocked because these companies tend to do that. List things and then have more than what they list. I never saw the 10-star in Louisiana. I've never seen this in Louisiana. This gold label? No. I bought this at Bonita Plaza Liquors on Mississippi State Highway 19, northbound just south of the interstate in Meridian, Mississippi, Interstate 20/59, because they run concurrently together through that town. It was about $16. I figured I better buy it. I'll bet I'll never see it again, and I would have won that bet. So we do get different products than Mississippi gets, and they get different products than what we get, even though we're next door to each other. Henry McKenna. Now, Henry McKenna has been a troublesome product. I've been getting it wrong off and on. Couldn't tell it apart from more expensive products. And is that an indictment against McKenna? No. I think it's an indictment against the more expensive products, because I'm saying, I was trying to tell somebody that at work yesterday, if you do 2 liquors and one costs $30 and the other one costs $10, and you can't tell them apart, then the one that's cheaper wins by default, right? He was like, he was either not listening to what I was saying, or he did not understand what I was saying. Because he says, yeah, but you got to go with the one that's better. I said, well, how can you say one is better if you can't tell them apart? You know, it doesn't even make any sense. It's a nonsensical statement. It's like if I did Budweiser versus Miller High Life and I couldn't tell them apart, I wouldn't turn around and say, oh, Budweiser is better. Well, how are you going to say it's better? You can't tell them apart. It's a blind taste test. But a lot of this goes over people's heads. But a lot of people don't pay attention, really, to a whole lot. My friend David was saying, let me read about this Baltica 6. So he's scanning through the website, and he's doing what I always recommend not to do, just going through. And he's saying, oh, it's blended with the number 6 wheat beer. And I was thinking, what? But I couldn't see. He's looking on his little phone, and I couldn't see what he's looking at. So I remember thinking this morning when I posted, I said, I know that's got to be wrong. And sure enough, the website does not say it was blended with the wheat. It said they took the wheat and the Baltica 6 and combined them together in a new series called the Select series, the Brewmaster Select series. I said, see, that's what happens when you don't pay attention and you're rushing. And then they said they added a third Baltica beer to that Select series. Okay, so when you're doing stuff, pay attention. You know, if you're building a roof, if you're putting a new roof on a house, pay attention. If you're working in a bomb squad disarming landmines, pay attention. If you're doing a whiskey taste challenge, pay attention. All right, gold cap, plastic, beautiful. Okay. So in this case, let's say $16, because this is a higher grade, 90 proof, still only aged 3 years, young. $16 versus $9, because I paid $8.99. Now Total Wine's got it right now for $9.49, 50 cents more, 50 cents more. But I got it for $8.99 minus, plus a penny is $9. So I got it for $9 minus a penny. But we're gonna round off. Let's say $9 to $16. Because I mean, this might have been $15.50. Both gold, so does appearance matter? No, it doesn't. They're the same shade of amber gold. That's a benefit. They're both sour mash, so that shouldn't make a difference. They're both from Kentucky, so that shouldn't make a difference. I don't know the age on McKenna, but I know it's at least 4 years old because it has no age statement. So it's an older. So the McKenna is older. It's been in the barrel at least a year longer, but it's lower proof, only 80 versus 90. So to be an interesting taste challenge. My prediction is that possibly the ancient age 10 star, too long of a name, will win. But more than likely, here's my prediction, but more than likely, I won't be able to tell them apart. So that would mean McKenna would win because it's about $7 cheaper per bottle. And you can go pay the extra $7 if you like, but I'll just go with the cheaper one, especially since I can't tell them apart. Okay. The first thing that hit me in the nose was that sour mash whiskey, which tastes like sourdough bread to me, smells like it. And it had that Sazerac kind of, if you tried different Sazerac bourbons, they always have this like saturated oak smell. It's like oak that's been saturated with whiskey. It's like a whiskey sponge. It's like a spongy, oaky thing. You say, well, that's not a very good description. Oh, I never said it was a good description. I just said that's what it's like to me. Nah. See, this one doesn't have that. Here you get more of just like a standard kind of low level, not in quality. I mean, a low level in potency, like, you know, a weaker standard bourbon. So basically more of a basic product. And I'm not sitting there talking about how the ancient age 10 star is like exquisite either, but so a big difference on aroma. Not a big difference, but a difference. And I think the first one has a much more, a relatively higher, not much more, a relatively higher oak presentation in the nose. So which one would I prefer on aroma? Well, on appearance, they're the same, so there is no preference. On aroma, this one here, my left hand, because it could be to your right, but my left hand because it's got a little bit more intense aroma. But they're both fine. Taste. All right. That's a pretty bold flavor, actually. So bold, whiskey-soaked oak, vanilla, rock candy, which most bourbon to me tastes like rock candy, which means, you know, because that's corn, and corn is sweet. That's why they use corn syrup to sweeten Coca-Cola, which makes it nasty as heck. They should have kept cane sugar. But, of course, bourbon has to be corn. If you made it with sugar, it would be rum. Which now Sazerac does make rum again in Kentucky at Glenmore Distilling where's Glenmore Distilling? What's the name of that town? Owensboro. And it's the first time they've been distilling rum in Kentucky in decades. Well, at least first time Sazerac's been distilling rum in Kentucky in decades. They used to import it from the Caribbean, but now Sazerac has started making their own. What's the name of that brand? King something. It doesn't matter. It's cheap. I never tried it. I've seen it mostly at Albertsons. However, I did see it at Savannah Discount, which is now telling me it's not just an Albertsons only product. Of course, Savannah Discount might get their stuff all in a black market. They might get their stuff in a creative manner. I'm saying King Square, but it's not. It's and they went to a plastic bottle. Anyway, well, this is kind of bland. This one here tastes kind of bland. Does it have vanilla? Yeah, a little bit. Does it have oak? Yeah, a little bit. Does it have the rock candy? A little bit. They both have like that candied fruitcake fruit. Are they great? I mean, they're fine. I mean, I never really had a bourbon that was great, to tell you the truth. Now, I know that's going to upset some people, and they'll say, sometimes people will tell me, I'm going to unsubscribe. I was like, okay. That's like some kind of implied threat. Like if I don't change my opinion, they're going to But don't watch. I'm just saying, I've tried a lot of bourbons. I have a lot of bourbons. But have I ever tried one that I would say is great? No, to me, great would be like 96 or higher, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Above 100 would be world class, like beyond belief, like just better than perfect. Now, to be fair, could it be a problem that I don't really like bourbon? I don't like that corn grits taste. Tastes like corn grits, sourdough bread, and rock candy. Yeah, it could be a style issue for me. Or are people obligated to enjoy bourbon? You say yes, because it is the most popular type of whiskey in America, and only a true, you know, you have to be a bourbon lover to be a true whiskey fan. Oh, really? Morning, Ron, checking in. Hey, Jeep and Foodie, Caleb. Okay. See, I have this theory that I've been working under for over 10 years. And my theory is that you should drink whatever you enjoy and not feel obligated to like what you don't really like just because everybody else is drinking it. So I've had people tell me, I gotta apologize, but I really rather drink Seagram 7 blended whiskey. I said, well, why would you apologize if that's what you like? I saw it at Total Wine for $11.99. I guess I'd rather drink scotch. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, but okay, bourbon. You say, what's the difference between moonshine and bourbon? Well, there is only one difference, actually. The moonshine's unaged and raw, but it's made with corn. And if you read about the Whiskey Rebellion and why the United States wanted to buy Louisiana from Spain, or really New Orleans, mostly in all of this, a lot of it has to do with bourbon and corn production. Yes, maize. They used to just make corn liquor, like corn whiskey. Take corn, distill it, bottle it clear, and people would drink it. White Lightning, the really strong, uncut, or they cut it with water, bring it to 86 proof, whatever. Now down to 80 proof these days. And people drink it, just like on the Waltons. The Baldwin sisters made the recipe, as they called it, the recipe. They were sort of ignorant, or at least they were trying to appear ignorant, that they didn't realize what it was. They were thinking it was some kind of medicinal product, and they would sell it to people, but it was unlicensed moonshine. But that was probably more of an act, that they wanted to act like they didn't know what it was. They probably clearly knew it was, they had a still in their house, that they knew it was straight, that it was just pure corn liquor. Now, when they started shipping those bourbons down to New Orleans, and I don't know why they used charred oak barrels instead of just uncharred oak. There had to be a reason, maybe to help cure it or something, or preserve it. I don't know what the theory was, but I'm not an expert, so why would I know that? Maybe even the experts don't know. But by the time it got to New Orleans, down the river, it would turn what they call red. They call it red liquor, brownish red, amber like this. And for whatever reason, it got the name bourbon. Some people say, well, it's because Louisiana used to be owned by the Bourbons, or because it was on Bourbon Street, or because Bourbon County, Kentucky. Those are all theories, but we just do not know. But what we do know is it became known as bourbon, and it was the aged in the charred oak, and it turned reddish brown. And that's the difference. So that's your difference between corn, whiskey, and bourbon. Really the only difference. They're both predominantly corn. Could be 100% corn. Doesn't matter. It has to be at least a majority corn. And Moonshine is unaged. Corn whiskey is aged in uncharred barrels, and bourbon is aged in charred barrels. So it's like the same product, but 3 different presentations of it. Get it? Get it? Get it? Same stuff, but presented in 3 manners. Which one is better? Well, I mean, it's whatever you want to drink, right? Right. That seems higher proof. It seems stronger, but things can be confusing and not what they seem to be. But I think that's the ancient age 10-star. Is it wonderful? It's not wonderful. Is it nice? Yes, nice. Would I be craving to drink it? I never craved to drink bourbon in my life. You hear what I'm saying? I never woke up and said, oh, well, I'm so excited because today I'm doing Dawn Busters Taste Challenge and I get to try bourbon. Usually it's more of a situation like, well, let me just go through the line. And I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I'm not a fanboy. I'm not really into it. I'm not. It's true. I mean, I'd rather just tell you the truth on these hangouts and try to cover it up and act like, oh yeah, I'm all of this and all of that, because I'm not. Are there certain beers I like more than others? Certain styles of beer? Yeah, I've said that for years. I don't really like wheat beer. Now, if I was trying to be careful with the channel to not turn anybody off and we want to market it, you know, I want to post my channel on every social platform so I can get those subs up. And some people do that, and I'm not jealous of it, and I don't care. It's fine. I don't do it. You know, I just leave it out there, and if people sign up, fine. If they don't, that's fine. And it has grown up to over 14,000 subscribers, which is not bad with no kind of like real effort involved as far as promoting. I don't promote it, you know, really, I don't promote it. But I just I bought a lot of bourbons. I have a lot of bourbons, but I'm not a big fan of it. And that's it. I don't know what else to say. So I'm not going to try to be careful, you know, same like I was saying with wheat beers. Don't say you don't like wheat beers too much because you want to keep it growing and it has to be about all this growth and all of these things. No, not for me. Excuse me, I'm choking on something. Charred wood is acidic. Maybe that helps with the flavor. It might. You may know more about the science than myself than I do. I don't really know anything about the science, honestly. I mean, and if I do, it's minimal at best. But is bourbon okay? I mean, it's okay. I get it. Grits, charred oak, wood. I mean, that's it. Corn, wood. Have I eaten too many grits? Probably. It tastes so much like grits. I mean, if you live, some people up north tell me, I live in Illinois or I live in Maine or I live in Minnesota. I never had grits. Well, you can buy them at the store. Don't even tell me they don't sell them up north. They do. You just probably never noticed. But and yeah, there's probably a few people in Minnesota buy grits because they're probably from Alabama or something. But I mean, they taste just what you think they're going to taste like, corn. And that's got that sweetness to it and that grain taste. And this is kind of like liquid cornbread, you know, and I like cornbread with butter, hot cornbread with butter. I mean, it's fine, but if you ate it every day, you get to where you couldn't stomach it, you know, it just make you sick. Corn on the cob, it's good. I like it. Corn chips. Last night I was dipping corn chips, you know what I'm talking about, tostada chips, whatever those things, in French onion dip. Maybe not the healthiest thing in the world, but it tasted fine. It was a good little evening snack. Got back to 140 pounds. Probably I lost, like after the hurricane, I just lost a lot of weight. I wasn't eating. You say, oh, you were depressed because of your house. I wasn't depressed. I mean, no, I wasn't exactly happy about it either. But I mean, it was just like the situation, like that you were having to eat out of cans, like you eat canned food, and it was like you didn't really want to eat it, you know. So it was, and probably your nerves were bad, you just didn't know it, you know. But I usually run about 144 pounds. So 138 was getting a little. I was about to start playing a bunch of Carpenter's records, and rainy days and Mondays were always getting me down. All right, anyway. Um, I think the Ancient Age is better. Is it $7 better? Well, that's debatable. That's debatable. That's debatable. But I'm going to say possibly it's $7 better, but not necessarily likely. I mean, really, you might just do best to pay the $8.99. Yeah. Some say it's a close call. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Ancient age is 95 on its own. No complaints. $16, 90 proof. I don't know why it's 3-year age and the website says 6. That's telling me there's 2 different versions on the market. Don't know where you're gonna find them. But the McKenna's good, not great, not profound, not exceptional, not anything. Just it's good. It's like basic. Get that? Did your house get fixed yet? Partly. It really wasn't that terribly damaged. It was just some damage. I know other people got their house destroyed. In other words, the insurance company said it would cost more to fix it than the house is worth, meaning they're going to demolish it. You see, I'm sitting in a room. I never saw any leaks. It was just irritating wind damage. You know, it was significant, but not profound. But it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. You see, we're over a month now. It's time to roll. My neighbor next door had no damage whatsoever, none, zero. But he has a newer house. Well, actually, his house was older. His house was built in 1947. This was built in 1951. But he stripped it down to the frame and rebuilt it from there. And he was telling me when he was building it, I'm building this house to withstand a Category 4 hurricane, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking, oh, man, you just talking. But he was talking correctly, too, because his house did not sustain any damage. Pretty impressive. Can't be said for the rest. Now, the one across the street, I didn't see any damage. That house built 1960. No damage. I mean, maybe something that took them an hour to fix, but like literally unscathed. Now, what about the rest of the houses? Damaged, you know, and damaged. So, yeah, like I told you, 80% of the houses in this parish were either damaged or destroyed. 80%. Am I too late? No, because you can watch the replay. All right, so let's hope this is ancient age. Oh my goodness. This is very irritating. Maybe that's why I don't like doing this, because I keep getting them. It's Henry McKenna. Oh. 10% proof difference, and I couldn't tell them apart. 90 versus 80, and I couldn't get it right. So it's actually Did I check the labels when I poured this? Man, BC Beer Reviews fell asleep last night on our hangout. Maybe I should have fallen asleep on this hangout. Because let's see, that's the ancient age. And this is the McKenna. I don't know. It seemed like, and I am absent-minded. I'll be the first to admit that. You know, I take that Ginkgo biloba to get my memory right, but then I can't remember to take it. Okay. I gotta try. Okay. That tastes like the one I was saying was washed out and kind of bland. That's the Henry McKenna. Mm-hmm. Blah, 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 blah. This one's clearly bolder and has more flavor and more presence. Okay, I tracked it down. I'm not trying to cover for a mistake. I'm just telling you, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. Well, too bad for me. I remember now, I was just talking about everything, and I poured them in the wrong glass. Ain't the first time. There's no excuse for it. I mean, it should not happen. That's sloppiness. I'll admit that. But okay. I gotta stop doing these live. I gotta start recording these, and then I can just delete the ones that come out wrong, and then I can present it much better. And people will say, "You're so good at what you do," and I can say to myself, "Yeah, because you don't see the mess ups." All right, I feel a lot better now. I mean, I could tell there was a difference. The McKenna is much lighter. There was no way I was going to let that stand. Okay, so but it's still. I was able to tell them apart. Okay, I was able to tell them apart. Just had my label screwed up. But still in all, the $7 difference, I'm not too sure about. Are you really getting a $7 benefit from buying the higher proof? I would say that's debatable. And the good thing about it is you can buy both. I'm assuming you can find them. And you still can get both bottles for, let's see, what is it, 9 and 16, 25. I mean, come on, $25 of straight Kentucky sour mash bourbon for $25 plus tax. 2 bottles, 2 full-size bottles of Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey sour mash, aged at least 3 years for $25 plus tax. I mean, you're not going to beat that. So, yeah, just do that. Buy them both and try them, and you tell me what you think. Guess I would rather drink the ancient age 10 star, but I wouldn't rather drink it by a whole lot of margin. You know, my favoritism level is not exactly strong here. Okay, I'm sorry about the mess up. Now later today for Friday, because I know Friday, no way I'm gonna have time Friday. I mean, I could technically have time, but it would be too much of a headache. Friday, which is gonna be done today for Friday. If this is not a blowout, that's going to tell us something right there, but it's got to be a blowout. So watch for later today. I've got a whiskey that's over $60 in most markets, although we can get it here for $59.95. It has to be a blowout. It has to be. If it is not a decimation, that'd be very scary. BC's beer reviews. Good morning, Ron. Oh, hey, BC. Don't feel bad about falling asleep last night. I felt like falling asleep on Hangouts before. Good thing I didn't know, because then who would turn off the video, right? But what is your score? Tell me that. What was your score for the Bell's Oktoberfest? Tell me that before I get off the air here. Can you tell me what your score was? Because that's the only score we don't have. 92, A-. That's a fair score. We kept trying to wake him. We were trying to wake you up, BC. We're like, BC, wake up, wake up. But it didn't work. Nepotism isn't a factor with your bourbon reviews. No, it isn't, because I don't have any relatives in the bourbon industry, so it wouldn't be possible. All right, thanks, everybody. Thank you, everybody.